إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلام عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. قال الله عز وجل بعد أن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Dear brothers and sisters, especially young brothers and sisters who are on summer holidays now, let me ask you one question. Think about this question. How much would you sell your summer holidays for? Young people, school holidays, college, university holidays, how much would you sell me? How much would you sell me these holidays for? We might not think of it as something like this, something even valuable, just sitting at home. But I swear by Allah, ask anyone with some grey hairs here. Ask any uncle you see with some grey hairs in his beard or his hair. How much would you pay to get a summer holidays like you used to have when you were young? I'm not even old. Alhamdulillah, I'm 33 years old. But even I, as a young man, miss those days. When I see young people having holidays now, I'm jealous in a good way. But I'm eager for you to make use of this opportunity you have. It doesn't matter if you're 6 years old and you have summer holidays for the first time, or if you're 21 years old and you're having your last summer holidays before you start your new job after university, or anywhere in between. This time you have now is a golden opportunity, brothers and sisters. There is huge potential in it. But the scary thing about it, and this is where everyone else is relevant now, the scary thing about this time period coming up, these next few weeks we have, is it's a huge, huge responsibility on all of us, every single one of you and me. It doesn't matter if you're not young. It doesn't matter if you're not a parent. It doesn't matter if you're old or young, man or woman. Nobody's off the hook from this responsibility. Because the brothers and sisters we see here, who are on their summer holidays, or outside, who didn't even come to the masjid, they are the future of your ummah. They are the future of your masjid. They are the future of your business. They are the future of our species on this planet. whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed as a steward to look after this place. So if we have children or we don't, if you are a child, you're an old lady, old man, anything, all of us have a responsibility for making sure that we at least avoid the major traps this summer. And secondly, try our best to provide an atmosphere where our young people can take advantage of the potential that they have. So this khutbah is going to be slightly different. It might come across as I'm attacking everyone, including myself. But sometimes we need that wake-up call, brothers. Firstly, we have to realize that the future of our young people it looks bleak. If you look at the political situation we're in, the economic situation we're in, the climate, literally the climate of the earth that we are in and heading towards, the political decisions that are being made, taking money out of youth clubs, youth services, just as one example. Austerity is hitting, political decisions are hitting young people and their future the most. We have to step up as a community. We have to step up as a community to ensure not just the survival, to ensure the thriving of our young brothers and sisters. We have many institutions, many spheres, many domains that we all have to do some work in to help our brothers and sisters, our future generations, our successors, make the most of the time that they have. Number one, in the masjid. The masjids. We know sadly there's been disputes going on in this masjid, and no doubt others, unfortunately. But that doesn't absolve us of our responsibility. The masjid should be a hub. The Prophet ﷺ's masjid was the political hub of the ummah, was the social hub of the ummah. That's where he ran the country from. That's where people would come, get their disputes resolved. That's where people would come, ask the Prophet ﷺ questions. That's where strategies of war even would be deliberated. The masjid should be a hub for everyone. It doesn't belong to me or you or one committee or someone else. To be in charge of a masjid, the running of a masjid, is not a privilege, it's a huge responsibility. This is why the early Muslims would run away from leadership positions, because they know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask anyone in any position of authority or leadership about those under their care. The masjid should be a hub. We have to resolve our differences, brothers and sisters. If not, then I'm afraid we are all going to be sinful. If our young people are finding themselves in the streets, if our young people are, instead of having something productive in the masjid, they're finding themselves wasting time on social media, being brainwashed for somebody else's advertising revenues. But not just the masjid. We have issues in this masjid, may Allah resolve it quickly, Ameen. But how many businesses do we have? How many businesses do we have people here? Whether it's your local kebab shop, your estate agent, your accountancy firm. All of us in our businesses, in our organizations, we have a responsibility to make some sacrifices for our future generations. This summer, for example, how many of us can give work experience to a young brother or a young sister? Young brothers and sisters, remember these three dangers. These three dangers this summer. And everything I'm describing is trying to give ideas to avoid these three dangers. Number one, staying off the streets. Number two, staying off social media. And number three, staying off your sofa. These three things will do damage to your iman, do damage to your practical productivity as a human being, and can do damage to your future, let alone your akhirah. I'm not telling you to sit down all summer and just read Quran. Of course that's a good thing to do, but nobody's going to do that. Do something productive. If you have a business, employ some of our younger brothers and sisters here. Give them work experience. And young brothers and sisters, prepare your CV. Doesn't matter how young you are. Give it to these Muslim businesses and say, I want to get some work experience in your business, in your company, in your shop. Go be productive. Because when you have somewhere to be in the morning, you wake up, you've got some purpose for your day, this will give you so many benefits. Some of them physical, material, some of them spiritual even. Brothers and sisters who have businesses, who have companies, who have schools, madrasas, anything, Islamic charities, you all, I'm involved in the Muslim charity sector as well. We all have gaps in our knowledge, in our resources that our younger brothers and sisters can fill. It's not just one person making a sacrifice. For your business, for your charity that you work at, you would benefit from having a young person's mind and outlook, from having their skills on how to use computers, how to use the internet, how to use social media, for your business, for your charity, for your cause. But we need a forum, we need a place where people who need something and people who have that thing can come together. Unfortunately, the ruling ideologies, politically and economically, that are dominant in society today, they want to atomize us. They want to separate society into silos, into atomized populations, not interacting with each other, but interacting with either corporate or state institutions to mediate their relationships. Just think of a bank, for example. Just as an example to highlight this point, a bank will borrow money from a father and lend that same money to his son on interest. A bank will take money from someone, give him 2% interest a year, and lend that same money to his son and charge him 18% interest. Obviously interest is haram, lending or borrowing. I'm trying to give an example of how institutions around us have separated us. Instead, what if that son went directly to his father and said, "Can I borrow some money?" That would increase their relationship, he would get rewarded for it, and they would avoid the sin of interest, of riba on borrowing and lending. Just an example. Likewise, if you have a skill, maybe you're good at social media marketing, you're a young person, you know how to use Instagram, go to your local shop who's run by 30, 40, 50-year-olds and say, "I can help you in your business marketing and you can help me by giving me some work experience for the summer." Just one example. It should be the job of the community to help each other. The mosque should be a hub, political, socially, for these types of things, to connect people. Khalas, we have some issues in the masjid, but we're not off the hook. There have to be some people here who will take the responsibility to say, "Come to me if you need X, Y, Z." Create a forum. Parents. So masjids, we said, businesses, parents. Parents especially parents. You care about your children. But use this time in the summer to do genuine intergenerational knowledge and skills transfer. Whether you're a father, take your son to work. A mother, teach your daughter, teach your son some practical skills for life. Because this is what we're missing as a community at large. Intergenerational transfer of knowledge, of skills. Take your children to their relatives. Let them see their relatives. The problem is, I'm fighting with my cousin, my sister's fighting with her brother, and we don't speak to each other anymore. You have to get rid of this jahiliyyah, brothers and sisters. We have to make our own social interactions so that your children, they can grow up learning things, absorbing skills from aunties, uncles, grandparents, cousins. And this is what allows a community to flourish. Not being atomized, everyone in their house with 2.4 children. No. It takes a village to raise a child. and we all have a responsibility. Sisters in particular, what are you planning to do for your younger sisters, your daughters, your cousins, your nieces? They need positive Muslim women role models. Sisters, young women in particular, have a higher propensity towards going to social media when they're stressed, when they're anxious, when they're depressed. And the mental health disorders are skyrocketing when it comes to young women in particular. So in summary, just as a communal level, who am I attacking? Everyone, including myself. The masjids, the businesses, the parents. But in the next khutbah, briefly, I want to give my brothers and sisters, the young people, some advice as well. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Brothers and sisters, if you are on holidays now, remember this: we all have a duty towards helping you realize your potential. But if we are failing at that, you are not off the hook. Young people, listen up. You have to take it on yourself. Be proactive. Take your own responsibility to stay away from the streets, stay away from the social media, stay away from the sofa. Do something productive with your time. You have so much potential. You can learn a language. You could learn a skill. You could get together and brainstorm. Even 5 of you get together and brainstorm what are the problems in our community, in our society that we can help solve. And I swear by Allah, you'll think of amazing answers to this question. Amazing answers that will come from your young minds. But don't lose this potential. How many of us can just imagine, just for example, learn a skill. Learn to cook and feed the homeless once a week. As a group, with your groups of friends. Go and visit elderly people. Visit people in hospitals, in care homes. Learn from their wisdom. You have something to offer them. Just as an example, there's a staggering number of people committing suicide because of universal credit, because they cannot get their benefits and they're falling further and further into poverty. One of the reasons why? Because they don't know how to use a computer. It's all computerized now. You could volunteer your services to the local Citizens Help Bureau to say, send me to someone, I'll teach them how to set up an email address. I'll teach them how to fill out these online forms. You have these skills that other people need. Be proactive, brothers and sisters. Take responsibility for your own time. You can get skills, sports clubs, boxing, running, any sports whatsoever, football. We have Muslim scouts, we have all of these things in this area. Read. Read, go to a library and start reading for enjoyment. Not because somebody is forcing you, but read for enjoyment. Pick up a storybook, whatever, fiction, and learn this skill of reading, a habit of reading for enjoyment. This will help you later on in life. In summary, dear brothers and sisters, stay away from these 3 traps. Wasting your time on the streets, wasting your time on the social media, and wasting your time on the sofa or the bed. We all have a grave, important responsibility before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a community. As a masjid, you have a responsibility, you'll be asked about this. As a business, you have a responsibility, you'll be asked about this. We all have to make sacrifices for our future generations. As parents, as organizations, you have a responsibility, you'll be asked about this. And young people, you have a responsibility, you'll be asked about this. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to fight the atomization, to allow us to rebuild these connections within our community where we can transfer skills and knowledge and resources among us to strengthen the next generation. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings, Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to make the most of these golden opportunities ahead. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وأقيموا الصلاة.